today's video, I'm going to be fixing the email strategy of 2 e-commerce brands. I'll break down the mistakes that they're currently making and show you exactly how I would fix them. The issues that you see here are the same ones that I always come across when I audit different brands. So if you recognize any of these in your own account, then you're going to know exactly what to do to fix them. My team and I have generated over $100 million in e-commerce email revenue across 150 plus e-commerce brands that we've worked with. We consistently help brands scale from 30 all the way up to 60% of their total revenue coming from email, regardless of the product type and the size of their business. I've personally worked on everything from hot sauce to high-end saunas. Even if you just implement a few of the things I'm going to mention in this video, I guarantee that you're going to see a noticeable lift in your email marketing revenue. Let's get into it. So the first brand I'm going to cover is called Chew Nutrition. They're based out of Australia and they basically sell apple cider vinegar gummies. Their entire business is just based on 2 products, their main hero product being the apple cider vinegar gummies, and then they also have the strawberry matcha focus gummies as well. Their landing page looks really clean and great at first glance, but there's a few missing key elements in their pop-up and their email strategy that I think is costing them a lot of money. So the first issue that I noticed is that their pop-up offer isn't very compelling, right? So they're offering $5 off on their first order, and $5 just doesn't sound very compelling. It's not really motivating enough to get someone to actually enter their email, because you have to remember, these people are coming to your site for the first time, and if you're asking them for their email, you want to make sure that you're giving them a solid deal. And $5 off just, again, to me as a consumer, doesn't sound very compelling, and I assume that their opt-in rates are probably below 3% with this specific pop-up. And so what I would do instead is maybe even test out doing a mystery discount. And I understand with supplement brands, you know, their margins can be very, very thin. There's nothing wrong with giving $5 off as an incentive, but the way that we want to portray that, you know, that there is an offer in the first place, you know, can be a little bit more different and a little bit more compelling. And so what I would recommend is potentially looking into doing a mystery discount. And so the offer can stay the same. It could still be $5 off, but the way that we position it is as a mystery discount on your first order when you sign up. And the whole benefit of, you know, offering a mystery discount is that consumer doesn't actually know what the discount's going to be. You know, it could be $5, it could be $10, it could be, you know, 50% off. The whole idea is that the visitor doesn't know what the discount is going to be until they actually enter their email and receive the email, and then, you know, go from there. And so I guarantee that they'd see, you know, double the amount of opt-ins that they'd be getting if they, you know, position this as a mystery discount. And again, the whole benefit of this is that they don't need to change their $5 off offer. They can still leave their welcome flow the same, but just position this as a mystery discount. And so, you know, really kind of intrigues people, and people are curious. They're like, you know, how much could this actually be? What is the discount? What is the actual offer that I'm getting? So the mystery discount could be really powerful. In fact, we actually implemented this recently for one of our other clients, and you can see here that the mystery discount did a 10.2% opt-in rate in the last 30 days for mobile and 8.1% on desktop, which is really, really great. You know, obviously, ideally, you want to be shooting for a 6 to 10% opt-in rate on average. And, you know, you can see with the mystery discount, we're definitely on the higher end of that. Another big thing too is that this pop-up can be even stronger if we lead with the question before asking for their email. Asking a question that is related to their buying behavior or who they're shopping for or why they're shopping today kind of gets them to engage and interact with the pop-up before we ask them for their email. And so we've actually seen really good results when we've done this. This is just an example that I created for them, but imagine something like this. You know, you've unlocked a mystery discount. Before we move on, what's your biggest health goal right now? And then we have 4 different options that relate back to some of the pain points on why someone might be, you know, on their website or why they're shopping. So we have like beat the bloat, quit the sugar cravings, manage the weight, boost my energy. And so by offering these different options, like the consumer actually feels like, you know, the brand is actually trying to steer them in the right direction and actually help them in their buying decision. And to an extent, we definitely are, and we can leverage this data, which I'll get into. But, you know, more importantly, it really gets them to commit to, you know, interacting with the pop-up form. And once we get them to commit to interacting with the pop-up form, then they're going to be a lot more likely to commit to entering their email on the pop-up. And so the biggest benefit to having this multiple choice question on this pop-up form is that, you know, it gets people to engage, and they're a lot more committed and a lot more likely to enter their email once they get to the second step. The other big benefit that I just mentioned as well is that with the answer that they click, we're actually able to store that as a Klaviyo profile property, and that will allow us to create different segments based off of what they clicked and essentially be able to hyper target some of our flows and also some of the campaigns that we can be sending out later. Another thing that you might notice here is that we have this little button that says no thanks, I'll pay at full price. So this is a very, very clever tactic, and it gets people to really just double think, whether they should, exit out of the pop-up, because at the end of the day, who doesn't love a good discount and who doesn't love to save money? And so, by actually clicking this, they actively, consciously have to choose this decision to pay at full price. And then most of the time when people see this, they'll just, they'll be like, actually, I don't want to pay at full price. I want to get some savings, and then we'll collect their zero-party data, collect their email, and then get them onto our email list. By the way, I put together a bunch of different examples of high converting flows and campaigns that we've done for a lot of our clients, and it's all part of my email revenue playbook. It's basically a 126-page brain dump of all of my Klaviyo knowledge over the last 10 years alone. Far more than I could ever fit in a single video. If you want a copy, then go ahead and click the link in the description below and grab it for free. The third mistake is that they immediately reveal the discount on their pop-up as soon as you sign up. I can definitely understand why they're doing that, right? They want to kind of reduce friction and get people to use that discount code right away. The issue with that is that people aren't going to be checking their inboxes in order to receive that code, and we want people to check their inboxes because that's what's going to help improve deliverability. If someone enters their email and then they have to go check their email inbox, then obviously they're going to open the email, check out what the discount code is, and even click the link in the email, and that's what improves engagement and deliverability on the emails, because Yahoo, Gmail, Hotmail, and all these other email service providers see that people are engaging with your brand's emails, and then they're going to reward you by improving deliverability and getting more emails into the inbox. And so, there's a little bit of a pros and cons to both, but longer term, I would say it's much better to deliver the discount code within the actual welcome email itself. And once they open and click those welcome emails that you sent them, a lot of the other emails that you sent are likely to be delivered favorably in the primary inbox rather than the promotion folder or the spam folder. So the fourth and probably the biggest issue is that I went to their website and I actually added something to my cart. I waited almost an entire day and I didn't receive any abandoned checkout or abandoned cart emails at all. And so on my screen here, I actually recorded a rough draft of email that I would have loved to see from them once I abandoned my cart. So you can see here we have all the reviews at the top, 4.8 stars from 1,000+ reviews, loved by 10,000+ Aussies. Your gummies are still waiting in your cart. See why thousands of Aussies chew daily to make healthy habits easy and delicious. A nice CTA right here, and then also a dynamic product block showing me the exact product that I viewed, the name of the product, the price of the product, and also the quantity. And then we had another CTA returning me back to my cart with the exact contents of my cart that I was viewing. This is a kind of, just like a rough idea of the type of email that I'd want to see maybe 30 minutes to an hour after I abandoned my checkout. Again, what happened was that I added this same product to my cart, waited all day, and I expected to receive a couple of emails at least, but yeah, didn't receive anything at all. So just to sum everything up, they have a week offer, which is the $5 off. Again, they can keep that if they want to. If margins are very, very low, I would position it into a mystery discount and leave the offer the exact same. The other thing too is I would add in the two-step form. So the first step would be asking them a question that relates back to their buying motivation, and then also the no thanks, I'll pay at full price. Lastly, making sure that their abandoned cart and their abandoned checkout flows are set up and actually delivering properly to people that are abandoning their cart. The next brand I'll cover is FabFriend. They sell luxury bath, body care, and home fragrance products, all made by the founder in small batches. Unlike Chew Nutrition, which is just based around 2 hero products, FabFriend has a much deeper catalog based around scent variety and discovery. One thing that really stands out is their 4.98 review rating across 140 reviews on their website. But there are 2 key issues that I found that are hurting their list growth every single day. And so for FabFriend, this is another great example of what the pop-up should look like. Again, I just whipped this up really, really quickly just so you can get the idea. This is the type of pop-up that they don't currently have that I would create. So you've unlocked a mystery discount. Tell us your scent mood and reveal your discount. We have sweet and juicy, warm and flirty, fresh and tropical, clean and floral. And then basically, depending on what they click, obviously we can store that as a profile property and then later target them with the exact things that they actually clicked on. Getting them to engage and give us an answer leads them into them being more likely to then give us their email and also their phone number. Again, this is something I whipped up quickly. I would probably make this look a lot better if I actually worked with them. But yeah, this is the exact pop-up that I would build, like the style. And at the bottom, we say, no thanks, I don't like discounts. And notice that, there's no X button right here or at the left or the right. And so this is the only way to get out of it. No thanks, I don't like discounts. So that way they actively, consciously have to choose that they don't like discounts in order to leave the pop-up. And so the last issue with the FabFriend is that I actually received not 1, but 2 separate email confirmations asking me to confirm that I'm subscribing to their email list, right? Even after I've already opted in with my own email on their website. So this is the first one I received, this newsletter, confirm your subscription, and then this like very off-brand color in CTA that says, yes, I want to subscribe. I received this at 10:36 a.m. And then at the same exact time, I received this from the Fab friend, confirm you want to receive email marketing. Again, this is totally off brand, and I wouldn't even recommend having this double opt-in feature set up at all. And so the reason why people actually would want to have this set up is because sometimes people can put in fake emails, or there's bots out there that can enter your email list. And so it's a way to kind of just filter the people that are actually genuinely interested in your brand. But honestly, if you're cleaning your list, which you should be doing every single month anyways, then you should be removing those fake uninterested profiles anyways. But anyways, this is a very, very massive friction that's being added just from asking them to subscribe again. And it's not until I actually hit this subscribe button that I will actually start receiving their welcome emails and the other emails in their flows. Again, it creates a lot of unnecessary friction, especially in the beginning when someone literally just showed a lot of interest in your brand from opting in to begin with. I'm going to show you exactly how to turn that off. So if you go to audience, lists and segments, and obviously you want to go to the list that is tied to your pop-up. So if I go to this email list right here and you go into settings and you go into consent, by default, when you create a new list, it's going to be double opt-in. Obviously, we've switched this to single opt-in since then. But yeah, this double opt-in basically requires new subscribers to confirm their subscription before joining the list. Make sure your consent pages are up to date. The one that we do want is single opt-in. Immediately subscribe people to this list without a confirmation. Again, you don't want to add that additional layer of friction, especially as someone just showed interest in your brand right here and right now. So now you've seen the mistakes that these brands are making with their email marketing. And if you found yourself making some of the same mistakes, well, hopefully you know exactly what to do to fix it now. Honestly, I've worked with brands that were making even bigger mistakes than these, and we still managed to scale them to 40 to 50% of their revenue coming from email. One of those brands is called Sun Home Saunas, who we've taken from 10% to 40% of their revenue coming from email in just a few short months. But if you want to know exactly what's holding your brand's email revenue back, well, I have a link down below to book in a call directly with me. I will personally take a look at your Klaviyo account and tell you exactly what needs to be fixed and how we can generate more revenue from your account. But more than anything, I hope you got some serious value from this video and now have a better understanding of how email marketing should actually be set up on your account. That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.